Ciao a tutti, привет, друзья, und ganz herzlich willkommen zurück zu meinem Kanal. I hope you guys are doing well. Welcome back to a brand new video, lovely language learners. And I am excited once again to talk to you about a somewhat controversial topic because we love a bit of controversy, but we like clearing up the facts. And with every single video, what I aspire to do is give you some key takeaways that you can go and directly apply in your life, in your language learning. And as per the title of this video, what we're going to talk about today is how to actually use language learning apps to benefit your language abilities. A lot of people don't actually understand why they're using a language app. It sounds so simple, but if you don't ask yourself this key question of what am I even trying to learn? Why am I using the app? Or perhaps you're someone who has never learned a language before, so of course you don't really have a clue. You look up, top 5 language apps or which language app is the best one. But the thing about everybody, including myself, who does a review on a language app, who uses a language app, all has a different reason for doing so. So with this video today, I want to help you understand, number one, what your goals are, what your reasons for wanting to download whatever app it may be, what those reasons are, for you to understand a little bit more about how your brain works, how your memory works, and why people often find that language learning apps don't work for them, usually because they're using them wrong. And finally, to get a little bit personal, I'm going to show you guys exactly what language apps I have on my phone at the moment, what I'm using them for, and they always change as well. Not always, but they do change with time because obviously my goals, as your goals will, they change, and the reasons and purpose why you use something also changes. So let's get started. Apps are useful if you know what you're using them for. So before you go and download an app, I want you to think about your language learning environment as it currently is. What does it consist of? What are your goals? It sounds super simple, but how are you going to get somewhere if you don't even know where you're going? Or there is a fantastic quote that was actually in my journal this morning, and it said, "No wind will ever be the right wind if you don't know where you are sailing." So you want to know, why do I want to use a language learning app? What do I want to learn? Let me tell you how many apps I have downloaded and they have stayed in my beautiful languages folder and they never get used. So quality over quantity, I say that in so many videos, but it really is true. Number one, identify what do you want to learn? What is your personal goal? How is a language learning app going to help you with that? A language learning app is always there to complement. It complements your learning. So if your goal is to practice more grammar, you're going to want to find an app that helps you do that. If, for example, you're taking classes or you have a lot of friends that you speak with and that's your main learning environment, you're going to want something that supplements that helps you create that beautiful, well-rounded bubble that is speaking a language. So another thing, if it's quite the alternative, if you have textbooks that you learn from, books, or you're watching videos, but you don't really get a lot of practice, with native speakers or just speaking practice in general, then you would look for an app like Tandem or HelloTalk, or an app that allows you to do exactly that, to supplement something from your language learning that is currently missing in your system. Language learning apps are actually really great as a private setting or a private environment for you to make mistakes in. So if you're somebody who is not as comfortable in, just throwing yourself into situations, and I think we all are, to be honest. Even I get a little bit hesitant if it's the first time I'm actually having a conversation with someone and I don't 100% know I've never actually practiced what I'm saying. Confidence comes from preparation and practice. So language apps can be wonderful. The ones that have this speaking function, that do analyze your pronunciation, that do help you, practice your speaking essentially, they are beautiful. The reason why most people fail, or you see everywhere in forums or in reviews of language apps, that people never learned anything, or the comments like, I didn't find it helpful. I was using this every day for a month, but I didn't come away with anything. You know, people are always looking for that number one magic pill, magic app that is going to teach you everything. No resource is going to do that, which is why, coming back to the first point, just to recap, you need to know what you are going to learn. What are you looking to learn, and why do you want to learn it? What is your main focus right now? And then look for an app that is going to help you do that. So what most people are doing wrong is, well, number one, relying just on one app to solely teach you a language and only practicing one skill. But secondly, they are only training one part of their memory. So there is such a thing as passive memory and active memory. And a lot of the time when you are, when you've got 5 minutes or you've got 10 minutes and you're playing around in a language app and you're just filling in gaps, or you are reading a sentence and you need to fill in a word, or you've got all the words that you get to put together, that is actually only engaging your passive memory. So you are only taking in the pattern, but you're not actually taking in the information. Where the real learning comes, that allows you to reproduce the phrases, the speech in a real life scenario, that comes from you activating your procedural memory, the active memory. So what I personally look for in a language learning app is one that simulates a real life scenario and gives me as much room for error actually, and allows free thinking. I want something that really has real life content, simulates the real life scenario where I can practice my speaking. So for example, with Mandarin, you will see shortly the apps that I'm using. My goal is really to speak. It is the goal with Swedish, it is the goal with Russian. So the apps that I use and my methodology for learning at the moment does not encompass writing or reading. It does passively, or it does inadvertently, not passively, inadvertently, but that is not the number one priority. If reading and writing are covered, then great, then I'm learning everything simultaneously. But my emphasis is always on speaking. So I look for resources that allow me to do that, allow me to train my pronunciation, and allow me to train my recollection of words and sentences through speech and active procedural training. So now we get to the juicy part, guys, where I'm going to show you exactly what language learning apps I have on my phone, which ones I use. And on that note, it's important to mention that you don't actually need to use every single aspect of a language learning app. As I said, nothing is going to be a beautiful, fully well-rounded, language learning concoction device. You get what I mean. So you can pick and choose what to train. And this is where we come back to our goal. Know your goal. Know your goal. Ask yourself, what do I want to train? Why do I want to train it? What is most important to me right now? Because that is what our memory needs. Otherwise, you're not going to be motivated. You're not going to be observant. You're not going to understand because, you're not going to be interested. And so nothing else is going to matter. You're not going to retain the information if you don't know your why. Simple. We covered this, by the way, more in our webinar that David and I spoke about, which you'll find on my channel as well. But let's get into the apps. So for Mandarin, I have been using Do Chinese and I Talk, You Talk, which you will see here. So I've been training my listening and speaking ability, which I will show you now, for Russian via this online resource, and it has been great. It's a little bit random, but Russian's not really a priority for me at the moment, so I'm just kind of doing it every morning out of fun. But consistency is also important. And what these apps do as well, and a great thing about language learning apps, is that you can set reminders and create an environment for yourself, a learning environment, where you're given those automatic repetitions, or that spaced repetition is automated, so you don't need to do extra cognitive work to create this learning system for yourself. So Do Chinese, what I love about it is it has real life content, so it simulates a real life environment, audio, text, translation. So you pick a course, I'm on the newbie course, and what I will do is I will listen once, mimic, and then say it with the person to ensure that my tones and my pronunciation are good, that they're on point. So you can change the speed here as well, and you've got pinyin. I'm not really learning characters yet, so pinyin, it has to have pinyin for me, otherwise my brain is just going to switch off. So you're making it as simple as possible. This is a bit of an oxymoron. It's as simple as possible, but as challenging as possible. So it's challenging to the right degree for you and your current learning goals. 你干什么?
什么?
丽丽. 丽丽, 今天下午你干什么? So what you can also do if you're learning Mandarin or any other language, you've got the text there. Try and say it before you hear the person and see how close you were to the correct pronunciation.
干什么?
今天下午你干什么? 你干什么? 今天下午你干什么?
什么?
今天下午你干什么?
什么?
下午我去商店。
下午我去商店。
商店，我想买些水果。
我想买些Again.
我想买些水。
我想买些水
下午我去商，我想买些水果。
我想买些水果。That's a hard one. 我想买些水果。我想买些水果。So there you go. This is beautiful. I talk, you talk. So this is another awesome resource. I have just started using this more often. It's a bit complex because, well, I'm training my listening, and they're obviously native speakers speaking a lot faster, but you got to throw yourself into the deep end. So anything that has, once again, that native content, if you are looking at improving your comprehension, something like this is going to be great. It has a transcript, and it also allows you to practice your speaking and record it, and you can listen to a slower version of the actual sentence being said. Save it, so it's brilliant. Babbel I am using, and I particularly like it for practicing my pronunciation and speaking and having a little bit of grammar in there as well. You will see, you will see I have my review sets that I do, and it has all of the courses. So I kind of just learn what I want to learn when I learn it with this. But as I said, language apps are supplementary to your learning. Understand that the best ones you use are going to be the ones that involve the most production of language without giving you too many cues, because those cues are great as crutches, but at some point you want to throw the crutches away and you want to actually use the language, freely use it in your everyday life and understand native content, whether it's film, series, books, whatever. So those are my tips. I hope you found them helpful, guys. And let me know in the comments below, what has been your experience with language apps? And if you would like to see an individual video of the best apps and the most, helpful apps for certain languages, so a video just for French apps, a video just for German apps, Russian apps, Mandarin apps, whatever, do let me know in the comments below as well. And other than that, make sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys next time. Ciao, ciao. Bis zum nächsten Video.